Hello, my name is Wade Bartles, and today I will be presenting Ethics Case 13-5. So, an introduction of the topic. Outdoors R Us owns several membership-based campground resorts throughout the Southwest. The company sells campground sites to new members, usually during a get-acquainted visit and tour. The campground offers a wider array of on-site facilities than most. New members sign a multi-year contract, pay a down payment, and make monthly installment payments. Because no credit check is made and many memberships originate on a spur-of-the-moment basis, cancellations are not uncommon. To continue, business has been brisk during its first 3 years of operations, and since going public in 2003, the market value of the stock has tripled. The first sign of trouble came in 2016 when the new sales dipped sharply. One afternoon, 2 weeks before the end of the fiscal year, Diane Rice, CEO, and Gene Sun, Controller, were having an active discussion in Sun's office. So here's the dialogue between Diane Rice, the CEO, and Gene Sun, the Controller. Sun said, "I've thought more about our discussion yesterday. Maybe something can be done about profits." Rice said, "I hope so. Our bonuses and stock value are riding on this period's performance." Sun said, "We've been recording deferred revenues with new members when new members sign up. Rather than recording liabilities at the time memberships are sold, I think we can justify reporting sales revenue for all memberships sold." Rice said, "What will the effect on profits be?" And so Sun said, "I haven't run the numbers yet, but let's just say it'll be very favorable." So let's take a look at our relevant facts here. We know that new members sign multi-year contracts on spur-of-the-moment decisions, cancellations are pretty common, and no credit check is performed. We know that over the last few years, since they began, business has been brisk since they went public in 2003. The stock has tripled since then, and the first sign of trouble came in 2016. We also know that when new members sign up, the company currently records for deferred revenues and records liabilities when memberships are sold. The alternative that is being proposed is that we record all sales as revenues and this will reflect a positive effect on profits. So the question is, why do you think liabilities have been recorded previously? So, why, when we make a sale, would we record a liability? Well, this is because we need to account for potential cancellations. We know that memberships are sold on a spur-of-the-moment basis, and cancellations are pretty common. No credit checks are made. So ultimately what the company is trying to do is keep an allowance for potential losses in revenues. And what this does is it helps the company accurately predict net profits. This assuming that maybe we're generating lots of revenue, but we're also having a lot of that revenue be canceled. So if we ignore the liabilities, then we may artificially be inflating our profits. So, is this proposal ethical? So, first of all, to figure out if it's ethical, let's look at why would we do this? Why would we choose to not record liabilities? Well, by not recording liabilities, it would record all sales as revenue. It would exclude all cancellations that are expected. It would boost profits for the executives. It artificially inflates financial statements, and it helps the executives meet their goals. Ultimately, it makes the company look a lot better because it assumes that all sales are final. So I would say that no, it's not ethical. This is accounting fraud. It's illegal, and the reason why is because it paints an incorrect picture for shareholders. Shareholders are seeing that we're making all of this sales revenue, it's all coming in, it's all profit, but what's really happening is the company is having a lot of cancellations out of that revenue, and some of it's they should be recording as deferred revenue because not all of it is being collected. You're expecting all that to be collected, and it may not get collected. So they record the liability. By not recording that liability, it's all profit. Or oftentimes, management can make this sound like a good thing. They call it earnings management. Basically, what they're doing is they're moving the numbers around so that they they make it look a lot better than it is to meet their bonuses, and then on the other side, then they deal with it. So front loading the profit, making everything look good in the front, and then dealing with it later. That's illegal. So how would this affect? Who would be affected if this proposal was implemented? Well, I can tell you the executives would meet their goals. It would boost the stock values, and it would represent that the executives are successful. The shareholders would boost the stock value artificially. It would artificially inflate financial statements because it provide a false confidence in the profitability of the company. But it also risks their money because once the cat's out of the bag, the stock's going to plummet. As for the CEO and controller, it initially helps them meet their goals, but eventually it may catch up with them because they are committing accounting fraud. So they have potential for fines, jail time, and the loss of their CPA certification for the controller. So in conclusion, I can tell you that this is not an ethical option. By doing this, the CEO and the controller would be committing fraud. They would be doing this by falsely representing financial data. And the reason why is because it doesn't appropriately account for potential cancellations. So what's going to happen is the company is not actually going to meet their projected profits, and that's going to cause huge problems in their year-end statements. Another thing is once the shareholders find out about this fraud, the stock's going to plummet, and the company is going to be audited, and they're going to find all of this out. In addition, that's going to have a huge loss in the confidence in this company, and so it'll be hard for them to recover. So also, as I said, the company may lose business for unethical practices, and not only business, but their ruined reputation may cause them losses in the stock market. Finally, the financial statement manipulation, while it is common, it's most common among executives, and the GAAP standards make it possible because of the flexible standards set up in the GAAP. This is good and bad, but when it comes down to auditing, you can see that it is actually unethical, and they can be charged for it. So my recommendation is this: the company really wants to inflate their profits. They're 2 weeks out, and maybe too late for this time. The executives just need to accept that. But they could increase their marketing. They could start a marketing campaign and increase sales, increase brand awareness. Maybe there's a whole target audiences that aren't even getting this message for high-end campgrounds. Nobody wants to sleep on the ground. You've got this wonderful facility. Get the message out there. Also, you go after previous customers and get referrals. See if they, maybe they weren't on board then, but maybe they can do it now. And also offer a discount. Maybe you can drive profits up by just simply offering a discount, get more people in there. This would decrease. You could also decrease cancellations by adding a no refund policy to the contract. Then you could do away with the liability. You would have to record a small liability for people who are not going to be able to pay. And for that, you may want to start running credit checks, or maybe potentially do a larger down payment that's non-refundable. Another thing you could do is lower the down payment to increase sales with a no refund policy. This would help drive profits up and decrease cancellations. So ultimately, to get out of this, the executives are going to have to